Hello and welcome. All right, today we are gonna do my makeup utilizing these two brushes, okay? So I have a couple different welcome videos showing off different brushes and how to apply your makeup. The one that I'm gonna show you today is going to be utilizing these two brushes. We have the Blush and Bronzer brush along with the Detail brush. So these two are the brushes I'm gonna use to apply my makeup today. And then I'm gonna walk you through what your compact might look like. Now, everyone's colors are gonna be different. What they purchased on their first purchase may be totally different than what I've got in here. But the premise of it is being able to walk through, tell you the whys of why we put our makeup in certain positions, why we do things the way that we do, okay? So if you don't have one of these items, just skip ahead a little bit. If there's an item that you might have that I'm not showcasing, there's gonna be plenty of tutorials and guides along the way that are going to help you out. And of course, always reach out to me, okay? So let's get started. I'm gonna show you my compact here. The items that I'm working with today, I have my main color match items, my brightening highlight, main highlight, and contour. I'm also going to talk about lip conditioner, and this is a color corrector that I use all the time. So I'm going to showcase it, okay? This is Mango for my under eyes. Couple other things, you might have the same thing. This is the Compact 12, so you might have a couple lip and cheek colors, maybe Bella bronzer or an illuminator. You might have this slot all full already with some eyeshadows. Remember, the beauty of this compact is you get to design it how you want. Everyone's can be different, but we can still achieve the same natural, beautiful look at the end. Okay, my face is already moisturized. I'm gonna come in with my setting spray and my perfector sponge. This is already damp. So if you have this product, you're gonna take your setting spray, put it onto your perfector. If you don't have the perfector, you could just spray it all over your face. Give it a moment for it to dry. Otherwise, if you have this perfector, you are going to start to bounce it off your face, especially getting into some of those crevices, okay? Areas on our face that like to move. That's where we really wanna make sure that we are getting our setting spray in there because it's going to act as a primer for our makeup. Now, if you decided not to get either of these and you have a primer at home, you can put that on at this point. Just make sure the primer that you are using, silicone is not one of the top 3 ingredients, okay? Silicone does not work very well with cream makeup. It's gonna push your makeup away and make it feel like it's falling off by the end of the day, okay? So check your primer. If you have a primer at home that doesn't have silicone, feel free to put on your face. Just make your makeup last even longer throughout the day. Otherwise, we utilized our setting spray. All right. Next up, my lip conditioner. For me, it's a must. I want to make sure that my lips are hydrated throughout the day. I want them to be a little bit plumper. I don't want them to be cracked. I want my lip and cheek colors to show beautifully. So I always put my lip conditioner on right away before I start doing my makeup. So that way, when it comes time to putting my lip and cheek on, it goes on beautifully, okay? All right, now remember I said I'm gonna work with these two brushes for this tutorial. I have my Detail brush and my Blush and Bronzer. I'm gonna start out with my Detail brush. Using the smaller end, this is how I like to come in and apply it. I'm gonna come into my brightening highlight color, stipple into it. I'm gonna put a little bit in this corner here and the rest in the outside, kind of with a little bit of a diagonal. Remember, we're always trying to lift our face, especially as we get a little bit older, okay? You can take any excess, bring it down the center of your face. I typically don't like to put a whole lot on my nose because my nose is a little bit of a different color. I don't wanna bring too much attention to it. And for me, I need some Mango to help color correct those under eyes. So while I'm still using this brush, I'm gonna dip into my Mango. You don't need much. And I'm gonna just place a little bit right in this portion here. That's usually where my purple likes to show, or my blues, and I'm just gonna put it on here. Now remember, when I put my makeup on, I like to let it acclimate to my skin, meaning I like to have it warm up, okay? I'm gonna take the rest of that mango because I have a bunch of freckling, and it's kind of like a mango and my brightening color mixed, which covers my nose perfectly, okay? So you get to decide what colors you're putting where. Maybe you aren't using mango for an under eye corrector. Just don't put anything there, okay? We will blend this all out, and remember, we want it to acclimate to our skin. We want it to be able to blend easier. Now I'm gonna come into the opposite side, opposite end of my detail brush, that big flat end. I'm gonna come into my contour. For me, I'm using Astoria. For you, it could be something different. I like to take my brush and stipple it right on the edge because then I can get a little bit better of a contour line. I'm gonna find that cheekbone and I'm just going to stamp that contour right into my cheekbone. You decide how much contour you wanna put on or how little. Maybe over time, you're gonna start feeling a little bit more confident in how much you put on. Totally your call. But notice where I'm stopping. I stop at the outsides of my eyes. I don't wanna bring that contour too far in, and it's gonna otherwise create kind of like a pitting look, okay? So I like to stop with that contour towards the outsides of my eyes, somewhat of an angle as you find your cheekbone, okay? Notice how we're doing that. Now I'm gonna stipple my entire brush this time. And I am going to come place this contour right up close to my hairline. Again, I'm using my eye here to stop myself, okay? A lot of times as we get older in our temples, they start to sink in. So for me, I wanna brighten that area, which is why we brought our brightening that way, right? And not bring more shadowing. So again, I like to stop using the outside of my eye when I'm looking at my forehead and putting that contour there. I'm gonna use up the excess amount. You could add more if you wanted to, or you don't even have to do the step. I like to add a little bit of contour underneath my jawline just to provide a little bit more of that chiseled look. Now again, when you put on your contour in this area, make sure that you are staying underneath your jawline. If you are placing it above, you're gonna get a 5 o'clock shadow, okay? Which is usually not what we're going for. So make sure that you just take that brush and follow underneath your jawline. We're mimicking our natural shadows. Here's another little extra. If you want to, you could take a little bit on the edge of your brush. If you want to give your nose a little bit more of an elongated, slimmer look, you could take a little bit of that contour right down the sides of your nose. Okay? Oops, sorry about that. All right, so we have our contour placed, we have our brightening color placed, and even a little bit of color corrector. Now is when I like to switch my brush to the blush and bronzer, using the smaller end here. I'm gonna come into my main color now and fill in the gaps, okay? Again, I like to stipple my brush in. If you swipe, you're gonna get way too much product. So stipple your brush in, and now you get to decide how you apply it. You could do small circle-like motions on your face. You could swipe it back and forth to fill in the gaps. For me, I like to stipple it on. 2 reasons: I have acne scarring. I want to fill in those little crevices or those little divots on my face with makeup because it makes them be a little bit more disguised, okay? You might have acne going on. If you have acne, stippling your product on will help cover up that distraction for you without bringing more makeup into the mix. If you have fine lines and wrinkles, same thing, same logic. That's why I love stippling my main color in. I'm gonna take some down my neck and I'm just blending it right into that contour that we put along the jawline, because a lot of times our neck is not the same as our face and our chest. So just make sure it's blended. You don't need too much product. Stippling in, let's fill in the gap up here. Again, you could do circular motions, you could swipe it on. Again, I have four headlines, okay? I like to stipple it so I get a little bit more coverage. And last but not least, fill in the cheeks, and then we are going to blend this brightening and color corrector, okay? I like to stick with this brush because it's nice and gentle on my eyes. And I even pull a little bit over my eyelid, so that way when I do want to come do my eyeshadow look, I already have a primer on my lids. So again, nice and gentle. The brightening color is nice and acclimated now, so it makes blending a breeze. And again, I like to do that stippling motion, especially because I put some of that color corrector under my eyes. If I swipe, I'm either gonna pull that away or I'm gonna pull and tug around my under eye, which is going to, unfortunately, help in the case of losing elasticity the more we pull and tug, and you might get little breaks around your eyes because your skin is so thin. So again, stipple in this area. And then you can just make sure you're blended. And I'm gonna do the same coming down the center of my nose, blending in some of those colors that I had and pulling down my contour on the sides of my nose here. If you wanted to exaggerate or play up the nose contouring, you could always add that for the end too. Now I like to come back to my detail brush, and I love blending with this contour edge. So I'm gonna come into my forehead contour and I pull it back into my hairline, okay? That way we don't have this no makeup line if we decide to pull our hair back in a pony. And it's nice and acclimated by this point, so you can see how easy it was to blend. So again, you're just pulling that color back into your hairline, and it's just blending ever so nicely with that main color that I already put up on my forehead. Now let's come into the sides here. I like to come in, again, it's kind of like stamping, okay? I'm not pulling down. I'm just stamping right on this line, pulling it back into my hairline. So again, it gives the most natural look. And now you're gonna take this brush and flick upward, okay? Don't ever pull it down. It's gonna make it look like you kind of have pitting in your cheeks. We're trying to create lift. So we're flicking it up and out, okay? Again, I like to kind of move this contour around by stamping it into place. And then I decide how much contour I want showing. The more you blend, the more that color is going to dissipate. So it's all in your comfort level at this point, okay? So we have our contour on. I'm gonna come back into my blush and bronzer, just make sure that I'm nice and blended throughout, and I'm gonna flip back on over, okay? So these might be items that you have, maybe you don't. I'm gonna come into Bella Bronzer with my big fluffy end. I'm gonna take a little bit onto my big fluffy end of my brush, and we're just going to place it kind of in that crescent moon shape. So think where the sun would kiss your face. We're just adding a little bit of warmth to our skin. And now I like to stay on this big fluffy side and just ever so gently blend it into my skin. Okay, we're not putting a ton of product on. We're just warming up this area. And by using this big fluffy end of our brush, it's gonna give the most natural appearance. If you want, you can even take some down the center of your nose, or if your neck is a little lighter than your chest and your face, you can pull a little bit of color down there. You get to decide again how much warmth you want to add into those areas, okay? Next up is our lip and cheek color. Let's play with this one of my favorites, Desert Sunset. I'm still gonna use this big fluffy end because for me, I like that more natural look. If you really like that full-on blush, you might wanna come into your detail brush and use this contour end to stamp it on, okay? I like more of that natural look, so I'm gonna come and place it right above my contour. Remember, if you've heard me before, think of it as that Neapolitan ice cream, okay? The bottom layer is chocolate, which is our contour. That top layer is our vanilla, which is our brightening color. We're just filling in the gap with some strawberry, okay? And by placing it right on top of your contour. It's going to accentuate your lift, okay? And notice I'm not using much. You can decide if you want to use a little bit more. You can decide if you want more of your blush color right in the apples of your cheeks if you are looking to add fullness to your face. Okay, now let's just use our finger. I'm gonna come in, add it onto my lips, which because I have that lip conditioner already on, it goes on super smooth. And remember ladies, just because you use certain color on your cheeks doesn't mean you can't mix and match with other colors on your lips too, okay? So just know you can use different colors. You can even combine them. Let's come in with a little bit of La Cienega in the center, okay? You get to play with all of these colors. Last but not least, let me just wipe off my fingers now that I got them all full. So I'm gonna put on a little bit of illuminator, okay? This one right here is rose gold. I'm just gonna put it right above that lip and cheek color. Just brings a little bit of glow. And since I'm not doing my eyes today, I'm gonna add a little bit right underneath my brow, just to bring a little bit of light. You could even take some down the center of your nose if you want. As I always stress, come in with your line brush at the end. It makes a world of difference. Brush through those brows. See, it just makes a world of difference. It adds a little bit more lift around your eyes, opens things up a little bit, but there you have it, okay? We have that main colors, right? Our main brightener and our contour. We did a little bit with our lip conditioner and mango for under eyes. And then we played around. We had a little bit of fun with some Bella bronzer, some lip and cheeks, and illuminator. Hope you enjoy. I hope you learn lots. But again, that was using our detail brush along with our blush and bronzer. And then of course at the end, I always pull in my line brush. But there you have it. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, make sure to check out some of the other welcome videos if you have some other brushes that you want to see how they're used, okay? And I also have one where you get to play around with the cheetah hack. Enjoy, and I can't wait for you to get started with your makeup, so reach out to me if you have any questions at all.